Greeting, Earthlings. We come in peace.
We...
Just go along with it. They don't know any better.
Oh, well, okay. Well, welcome to The Real Deal. We've got a great episode ahead with a special guest beaming down from far, far away.
We've got Josie Underhill, Parker Carlson, and a whole lot more. So pack your bags and get ready to blast off because The Real Deal starts now. To infinity and beyond.
Ludicrous speed. Whew, boy, ludicrous speed sure is fast.
And furious.
Luda!
Let's get back on track before we're just shouting syllables at each other.
Okay.
Now with this week's Hollywood headlines, our brand new Josie Underhill. Josie?
I'm Josie Underhill, and these are your Hollywood headlines. After 23 years, Jim Carrey has decided to come back to TV as the star of a new Showtime dark comedy. Carrey will play the starring role Jeff, or Mr. Pickles, a star of child's television who is the face of a multi-million-dollar company. However, Mr. Pickles' family life starts to fall apart as he faces losing his wife and 2 children. He realizes that no jokes, fables, or songs will save his family. This will be Carrey's first starring TV role since his role on the sketch comedy In Living Color, which ended in 1994. This series will have Carrey paired with Oscar-winning director Michael Gondry, who also directed Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which has been reviewed as one of Carrey's best roles. Kidding is already set to have 10 half-hour episodes. As of now, there is no premiere date set, so keep an eye out for this new comedy. Another exciting casting announcement is that Jamie Lee Curtis will reprise her role as Laurie Strode for one last time for a new Halloween movie. This will be the last addition to the Halloween series, as Curtis's character will have one last showdown with Michael Myers. The original Halloween premiered around 40 years ago. This film centered on Michael Myers, who was locked up for 15 years after murdering his older sister Judith. But on Halloween, Myers escapes the mental institution and returns to his hometown to find his next victims. Everyone says that the sequel is never better than the original. However, this film led to 9 more Halloweens, the most recent being Halloween Resurrection, which premiered in 2002. The new Halloween is going to be produced by John Carpenter, who worked on the original, and Jason Blum, who directed recent thrillers like Get Out, Split, and the Paranormal Activity franchise. This film is set to hit theaters on October 19, 2018. In the box office, it continues to dominate, making approximately $50 million in its second weekend and $210 million in 10 days. It is breaking records for September, which has previously been a tough month for movies to compete with the football season and the beginning of school. In second place for its opening weekend is American Assassin, which made a respectable $16 million, and finally in third is Mother, which made $11 million during its opening weekend. That's all I got for you this week. I'm Josie Underhill. See you next time.
You know, Eli, it was really good.
What was?
It. You know, the one with the gorgeous clown that haunts my dreams.
Those are called nightmares.
Is that the nightmare behind us?
No, but close. That's just Newslink.
Okay, well, moving on from clowns that haunt us every day is Parker Carlson with this week's Trailer Watch. Parker?
This year is shaping up to contain some of the most ambitious movies yet, and over the summer, we've seen some amazing trailers that give us a glimpse at those movies. First up, we're looking at Pixar's new movie, Coco. Pixar's first Hispanic protagonist will finally hit the big screen November 22nd. Coco follows Miguel, a budding musician, as he aspires to be like his late great-great-grandfather, Ernesto de la Cruz. His dream to be a musician is stunted by his family's puzzling ban on music. After a mysterious event, Miguel is transported to the land of the dead. There, he meets his past family and must uncover his family's secrets, find his hero Ernesto, and return home all before sunrise. This movie looks absolutely gorgeous. There's so much attention put into every little detail, from how the guitar strings are plucked to how the flower petals float in the wind. Dazzling colors and beautiful settings really draw the audience into this movie. You'll find me waiting in line to see this movie, as should you. Just make sure to bring a box of tissues when we all inevitably cry at the end of the movie. Next, Marvel is at it again with Thor Ragnarok. Thor is back in Asgard as he must recruit a team with Hulk and Loki to fight the incoming invasion on Asgard. Hela, the goddess of death, is leading the charge against Thor as she destroys his trademark hammer. Thor Ragnarok is looking to be Marvel's most aesthetically pleasing movie yet. The vibrant colors and synth music really fit perfectly with the trailer's 80s vibe. Marvel looks to be shooting for over-the-top action in Thor Ragnarok. Any Marvel fan is bound to be watching this on opening day, November 3rd, but if you're not a die-hard Marvel fan, maybe you should wait until after the reviews come out to see Thor Ragnarok in theaters. Finally, Suburbicon released its trailer this summer. Directed by George Clooney and starring Matt Damon, Suburbicon revolves around a neighborhood that gets turned upside down when mobsters attack Garner Lodge and kill his wife. This action thriller follows Garner as he fights back in brutal and bloody fashion. This trailer started off great, slowly raising the tension in the first half, leaving the audience engaged. Then, halfway through the trailer, starts to mix in some comedy, where it loses some of its appeal. This weird shift in tone may set off some people from watching, but if you go into the movie expecting it to focus on both action and comedy, then you may be in for a great time. Personally, this movie isn't on my must-see list, and I doubt it's on yours either. Hopefully, as October 27th nears, we will see some more substantial footage in a new trailer. All in all, the year looks great for moviegoers. I'm Parker Carlson. See you soon.
Thanks, Parker. You know, Kyle Wooldridge and I went on a Thor Ragnarok adventure through time and space.
Really? What was it like?
Well, much like the Hulk, Kyle turned green and tore his shirt off. We also ran into a version of Louis Weisman from another dimension. He had all his toes, he hated fish, and in his dimension, he tortured Logan Sowash.
Cute. We'll be right back with Ayanna Robertson and Alexis Alicia.
My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain, for what is a man? What has he got, if not himself?
Okay, Lloyd, nobody's parents are perfect.
Yeah, but I feel like there's more to Garmadon that I need to know.
To understand your future, you must go back to your ninja roots. Your dad was a ninja too.
Oh! Lloyd, you hear that? We've awakened the unstoppable beast. Meowthra.
Already a champion of women's rights, is now the most successful female player of all time.
I am not saying that women don't belong on the court. Who would pick up the balls otherwise?
Oh my God. There isn't a single thing I don't hate about Bobby Riggs.
You know what I'm doing? I'm cooking. I'm cooking! I won the triple at Wimbledon. I could beat Billie Jean King. Does she have the nerve?
Call Bobby.
You're so pretty today.
Ignoring the implication that I'm not pretty every day, thank you. This is thanks to Casey Robacker, our new makeup specialist.
Is that Fenty by Rihanna?
What's that?
Here to tell us is Ayanna Robertson. Ayanna?
Leave it up to Rihanna to throw out shade in a good way. This past week, Rihanna released her new makeup line called Fenty Beauty, launching in over 1,600 stores across 17 countries. Her brand included over 40 shades of liquid foundation. That's right, 40. Now, this wasn't your typical makeup launch. She didn't release any eyeshadow palettes, no lipstick, no eyeliner, no lip liner. Her brand focused more on appealing to crowds of different skin tones. She wanted everyone to feel included and wanted women all over the world to have that one shade color that is perfect for them. Usually brands start off with about 10 shades, if not less, oftentimes lacking more of the darker and lighter shades. Rihanna certainly was not playing around when saying she wanted each product to cover all skin colors. And another thing to take into consideration, Rihanna was not only the face and paid sponsor of her own line, she also was involved in a lot of hands-on experience with making these products. I mean, seriously, what can this girl not do? Now, moving on to the outbreak of the century, let's talk about highlight. Now, Rihanna released 30 matchstick shades, which can be used as concealer, correcting, contouring, and highlighting, but the main one everyone's raving about is the Kilowatt highlighters. She wanted them to be very flattering with every tone. With Rihanna's new formulated formula and her new highlighter, it completely changes the game on any highlighter we have ever seen, ladies. The one highlighter that she released that has everyone talking is the shade Trophy Wife. With its hypermetallic gold shimmer, it's enough to shut down any party. Aside from the foundation and highlighters, Rihanna has also came out with a few other top-notch makeup products, like one lip gloss called Beauty Gloss Bomb Universal Lip Luminizer, a translucent powder, blotting papers, and a set of brushes. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this collection is making me say, Kylie Jenner who? She is definitely giving these beauty gurus a run for their money. But not in a literal sense, because if you didn't think the Fenty collection could get any better, it just did, because at the low price starting at $18 to $34, you could have your own Fenty Beauty products.
Thanks, Ayana.
I feel pretty after hearing about it. I just wish that my #1 celebrity crush was here to see me acting this stunning, looking this stunning.
Emma Stone?
No, Kevin Hart, the delightful, short, funny man with the big feet.
You mean the guy we tried to get to write our episodes, but instead we're stuck with a less talented, pudgier version of Ed Sheeran as our EP?
Hey, I love The Shape of Brandon. I am in love with his body.
Here to talk about another horror story is Alexis Alicia. Alexis?
Halloween came a little earlier this year with American Horror Story Cult. Season 7 begins with the results of the 2016 election. Allie, played by Sarah Paulson, is devastated by Trump's victory, while Kai, Evan Peters, celebrates by sharing an intimate moment with his TV. The results lead Allie to be possessed by phobias she thought she conquered back in college, and she and her son start seeing clowns everywhere. But these aren't your average demented party clowns. These clowns seem to belong to a secret society, or cult, if you will. And who's the budding leader of the cult, you ask? The now happy and smiling Kai. Allie's fears begin to take over, and others are beginning to be afraid of her. I have to say, the scariest part about this season so far is that it's more of a psychological horror than supernatural. Every scare is either human or fear-enhanced hallucination, and you can't always tell which is which. Before I go hide under my bed from fear, let's move on to a lighter topic in a galaxy far, far away. Star Wars Episode 9 will now premiere on December 20th, 2019, instead of the original date of May 24th. Filming is set to begin in 2018, and J.J. Abrams will be directing. Some fans aren't happy about this new direction and are petitioning Lucasfilm to fire Abrams from the movie 1 week after his appointment to the role. Under Abrams' direction, the seventh film in Star Wars, Skywalker Saga, became the third highest grossing film ever made. Despite its success and positive reviews, one unhappy fan started a petition called Remove J.J. Abrams as director of Star Wars Episode 9 and currently has a little more than 1,800 signatures. The petition argues Abrams' direction of The Force Awakens had no creativity and risks were not taken. It was then suggested that Kathleen Kennedy should replace Abrams as director in the Episode 9 film. Lucasfilm has yet to respond to the petition. Kevin Hart is currently in hot water after an alleged extortion attempt against the comedian prompted him to post an apology to his wife and children via social media. The 38-year-old star apologized to his pregnant wife and Nico Parrish in an Instagram video where he said he made a bad error in judgment and claims that there was someone who was trying to make financial gain from his misbehavior. Reports surfaced this weekend that federal officers are investigating an alleged blackmail attempt that allegedly includes a provocative video of Hart. TMZ reported that FBI agents believe they know the identity of the person who demanded money to not leak the video, which features a man who may or may not be Hart getting cozy with a woman in a club and then in a bedroom. Officials have reportedly identified the woman in the footage and believe she or someone else attempted to blackmail the star. The alleged extortionist reportedly said that he or she was trying to get money and expose Hart for cheating on Parrish with several women. Hart and Parrish married last August after 2 years of engagement and are expecting their first child together.
Thanks, Alexis. Now for our weekly shameless plug.
This week we're treating you to not one, but 2 web exclusives.
Go ahead and listen to Noah Bullard talk about the most comforting painter of all time and Nathan Richard talk about a depressed horse.
We'll be right back after the break.
Hey guys, just a little disclaimer. This was written while I was wearing a Bob Ross t-shirt. I love Bob Ross, so much to the point that I dressed as him for Halloween. It was great. Anyway, I'm here to discuss how Bob Ross is the single greatest public access painter to ever grace our television screens. Bob changed the game.
The show started off rough in the first half of the season 1, but it continued to build itself up to become one of the most critically acclaimed shows on TV. Yet it's still criminally underrated and doesn't get enough praise. Season 4 of the show starts out with Bojack being absent from the first episode, and we follow along the supporting characters of the show, including Mr. Peanut Butter, who challenges the current governor of California to a ski race. After the first 2 episodes, Bojack returns to LA, and that's when all mayhem breaks loose.
Real deal's back. All right. We're so in sync.
We totally turned up the song to 98 degrees.
While New Kids on the Block had a bunch of hits, Rob Segovia has some Chinese food to make you sick.
Wait, I ate that.
Well, while Rob's giving his segment, maybe you should take a trip to the little boy's room.
Good idea. Rob?
From New Kids on the Block and New Edition to the likes of Boyz II Men and NSYNC, boy bands have played an important role in music, paving the ways for younger acts such as One Direction. Whether you're an obsessed fan or you can't stand the boy band phenomenon, it's impossible to not deny their lasting impression and meteoric rise to the forefront of pop culture, and I can't deny it either. In my toddler years, the Backstreet Boys were behind some of my favorite songs. They were my first concert experience too, but I fell asleep during the performance. Listen, all the fun wiped me out. Fast forward to 2017 and I had my second boy band experience. BrockHampton is an alternative hip-hop group hailing from Texas. Meeting on a Kanye West internet forum, the self-proclaimed boy band is comprised of rappers, singers, and producers. Kevin Abstract is the mastermind behind the collective and had released 2 solo albums to critical acclaim before focusing his attention on BrockHampton. They are taking the hip-hop community by storm, releasing 2 albums in the span of 2 months, even being called artists on the rise by YouTube. Not only does each group member shine, but they each bring their own unique sound. The first 2 albums, Saturation 1 and 2, are bold statements, standing as a more refreshing sound in all of music. Their diverse sound has saturated the genre. Kevin Abstract sings the catchy hooks and surprises with some of the best verses. Amir Van's street background provides gritty and personal lyrics. Matt Champion's smooth voice matches with his laid-back rhymes. Merlin Wood is a crazy voice that gets the crowd jumping to each line. Job is the Justin Timberlake-esque persona who can sing high-pitched notes that seamlessly transition to melodic raps. Don McClellan is the backbone that ties it all together, providing clever rhyme schemes and fast-paced rhythm. Bareface is the mysterious voice who provides powerful ballads, making an appearance on each album's final track, signaling an end to the roller coaster ride. Their sincere, heartfelt songs are offset by brash, in-your-face moments. Hitting the mark on storytelling, solid production, and tunes that stick in your head, it's no wonder why BrockHampton is rapidly rising the ranks. My favorite tracks on Saturation 1 include Gold, Star, and Waste, while Saturation 2 provides the gems Tokyo, Junkie, and Sweet. With Saturation 3 getting an October release, I went to Grand Rapids last Friday to see them in concert with my friends. My second time seeing a boy band was one of the best experiences of my life, and this time I managed to stay awake. They performed within feet of me and at a small venue that offered intimate moments between the performers and the fans. Everyone sang their hearts out. The fun experience concluded with one of the more prominent songs being played 3 times, with the crowd singing every lyric. After the concert ended, all the fans had the chance to meet the members, having conversations, taking pictures, and bonding through the power of music. Music has always been one of the things I love the most, and BrockHampton has given me more reasons to fall in love. That's all I have for you. I'm Robert Segovia.
Thanks, that's a great segment.
What kind of accent was that?
Irish.
That sounded like your Ben Sparrow impression from last week.
It's Ben from the old country too?
Please shut up, Angelo.
Fine. Well, here's Logan Lewis with an Under the Radar.
Two Door Cinema Club isn't a household name, but this Irish band should definitely be on your radar. Two Door Cinema Club is a 3-man indie rock band from Northern Ireland. They've had 2 EPs, 4 Words to Stand On in 2008, and Changing of the Seasons in 2013. They've also had 3 studio albums, Tourist History in 2010, Beacon in 2012, and most recently Game Show in 2016. Their sound is unlike any that I have ever heard before. The use of typical instruments combined with synthesizers is done to perfection. I found them by accident in middle school and fell in love instantly. They walk the fine line of keeping their music fresh while also sticking to their core sound, and that is something most artists can't do. Their most popular album is Tourist History, selling 340,000 records and reaching platinum status by the British phonographic industry. Tourist History is a wonderful album. I Can Talk is my personal favorite song of the album. It's upbeat, fun, and puts me in a great mood whenever I listen to it. My favorite album, however, is Beacon. I could listen to every single song on Beacon on repeat and not get bored. Sleep Alone is my all-time favorite Two Door Cinema Club song. The storytelling and lyricism of it is phenomenal. Beacon was also fairly successful, selling over 175,000 records in the UK and even 110,000 in the United States. On top of selling tons of records, their songs have been featured on a multitude of entertainment platforms, having songs featured on TV shows like Grey's Anatomy and Teen Wolf, the movie Now You See Me, multiple iterations of the hit soccer game FIFA, and numerous commercials. With all these accolades, you would think Two Door Cinema Club would be more well known. I've only met a handful of people who have heard of Two Door Cinema Club, and that number needs to rise. They have proven time and again, with their chart-topping records and exclusive sound, that they are a phenomenal group. That exclusive sound of Two Door Cinema Club is what's missing in Talked About Music today. If I had to choose 3 songs that you need to listen to by Two Door Cinema Club, they would be Sleep Alone, I Can Talk, and Bad Decisions. Each song is from a different album and is a great representation of what that specific album has to offer. I personally recommend every album and project that Two Door Cinema Club has done, and I hope that you fall in love with them like I did. Back to you, my lovely hosts.
Thanks, Logan.
You know, I ran into Two Doors once.
Sorry, our writers, meaning mostly Brandon, wanted to get back home and watch the Emmys. So that's why the jokes sucked this week.
This week? Yeah, like the jokes have been terrible for years.
Wait, but how long has Brandon been here? I thought we had a new head writer.
We'll be right back for our final word.
Hiya, Georgie. What a nice boat. Do you want it back?
Yes, please.
You look like a nice boy. Do you want it?
You like movies? Sure.
Got something for you.
What's this?
Yeah, I thought so.
For my final word today, I'd like to talk about a movie that everyone else has already talked about, and that movie is Wonder Woman. Yes, this movie came out quite a while ago, but I just saw it for the first time last Friday. I was pretty excited to see this movie, and it didn't disappoint. Well, not entirely. I loved the funny banter between Diana, aka Wonder Woman, and her love interest Steve. I could tell that DC took some inspiration from Marvel while deciding to implement humor into this film. Diana was amazing to watch, and I loved seeing a female superhero unapologetically kick butt. I loved the World War I setting, and the film score was magical. But there were some moments where the action went on for way too long. I was sitting there zoning out, wondering when Wonder Woman and the bad guy, Ares, would stop throwing things at each other. I get that superhero movies are supposed to be filled with BA fighting scenes, but this kind of stuff gets boring after a while. They could have shortened these scenes to allow for more plot and character development. Overall, I would give this movie around a 3.5 out of 5. I don't think anyone should miss it, and I would recommend it, but I hope the sequels are better. Wonder Woman came to DVD today, September 19th, so pick it up if you get the chance. That's all I have for you today. Thank you.
Focusing on movies with strong female protagonists like Eli did, I was surprised to find out that another Tomb Raider film is actually set for release next spring. Now, what with my unwavering love for video games and equal disdain for their film adaptations, this does bring about some skepticism, but before I encourage you all to pick up your pickaxes and jackhammers so that we can tear this wall down like Gorbachev, I will call out a key point that's actually giving me a lot of hope. You see, this film, simply titled Tomb Raider, doesn't take after the cheesy 90s video games which featured gunning down endangered species and a distinct lack of care for ancient artifacts. Instead, it focuses on the 2013 reboot. With this in mind, I decided to dig up the game a few days ago and give it another go. And I have to say, this could be either very interesting or super catastrophic to the idea of people taking this series seriously. You see, the 2013 video game that this film takes after is all about Lara Croft as a character. It tries to build her as a three-dimensional person and show the origin of how she came to be. It features her struggling to overcome obstacles and overcoming the boundaries that she is comfortable with in order to survive. However, this is where the difficult line comes into play when balancing video games and movies. It all starts with a little thing called ludonarrative dissonance. Essentially, the phrase means the conflict in a video game's narrative and gameplay. For example, in Grand Theft Auto 4, just for example, the main character Nico Bellic comes to America to get away from crime, but then you as the player proceed to hijack helicopters, mow down cops, and become an infamous criminal within your several hours of gameplay, which completely negates what the story is trying to accomplish. Now, while Lara is trying to survive on a decrepit island full of psychopaths in the video game, there comes a time where out of self-defense she must kill a man for the first time. After struggling with that original heart-wrenching moral dilemma and guilt that comes from taking another person's life, Lara then proceeds to spend the next 20 hours of gameplay blowing people away willy-nilly. Now, does this make sense regarding her character development or the serious tone that the story is trying to establish? No. But without the action on the player of engaging in gunfights with armies of psychopaths, there would be no gameplay and no reason to pick up the controller. At that point, it is just a movie. And this is something that the film is going to have to fix. It's different than watching like a pulp action film like Indiana Jones or Mission Impossible, where the characters, they kill with every bat of the eye, but you don't really give it a second thought. In serious dramas like The Tomb Raider wants to be, however, Lara struggling with human emotions and conflict, but then subsequently slaughtering an entire island of people, even out of self-defense, doesn't really mix well. That is, unless she's suffering from like some horrible mental problems or PTSD in the subsequent films, but I can't really see them going that route. Unlike the Angelina Jolie films, Alicia Vikander will play the famous Lara Croft, and despite the controversy surrounding her looking like she has an ET neck in the poster, I'm supremely confident she can pull this off. She's exceptionally talented, and if anyone's going to bring another dimension to Lara, it's her, for sure. All that matters at the end of the day is that the writers do their justice as well. And if they don't, hey, maybe we just stop making these godforsaken video game movies, huh? Just a thought.
It's so refreshing seeing strong female leads in recent movies.
I couldn't agree more. It's kind of like how The Real Deal has a strong history of strong female hosts, and this season is no different.
Thanks, Angelo.
No problem. For more from every hardworking person here at The Real Deal, be sure to check out our website, Facebook, and Twitter pages for news and updates on all things entertainment. I'm Angelo Oriama.
And I'm Eli Brunsman. We'll see you next time.